Um, you good, Leslie?
I'm good.
You are good. Yeah, good. Yep. Um, James, I guess what challenges, particularly in that backline, come with a team like Fiji? Because I guess they're very different to anyone else in the competition, aren't they?
They are very different. They've got a real strong DNA, which is completely different to all the other teams. They're obviously dangerous. They're number one on offloads, rely a lot on line breaks and that sort of chaos play where turnovers and counter-attack, they thrive on all of that. So very different challenge to what we've faced the last few weeks, but one we think we've got a good plan around.
Yeah, how do you guys have to adapt, and what have you learnt from that game earlier in the season, I guess, looking back at it this week?
Yeah, we had a good look at that. It was obviously very different conditions to what it's going to be on Saturday night. But we learnt that we can't afford to get into a chaos sort of game with them. They're very good at that. That's what they love. So we're going to have to try and keep it pretty pressure-based football and try and win those pressure cycles.
You're expecting a lot of work to be done by the big boys up front, given those conditions tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so. Well, we feel like our pack's one of the strongest in the competition, and we'll be definitely using that Saturday night.
People ask me all the time, how have the Crusaders managed to patchwork their team week in and week out? I mean, how do you manage to get a roll on at training, obviously game time, with the revolving door of personnel?
Yeah, I think it's just been a Crusader mentality around the next person steps up, and I feel like we've really seen that this year. There's been a lot of guys who have probably had more opportunity this year than they probably expected at the start of the year, and it's been awesome to see those guys stand up. And I guess Dallas McLeod's a great example of that. You probably, the start of the year, wouldn't expect him to be starting on the right wing in a finals game, but the way he's played, every time he's got an opportunity, he's stepped up and thoroughly deserves a spot on the wing. He's one of the form wingers in the competition, which has been awesome to see.
Have you ever been part of such a fragmented campaign, either as a player or in this position?
No, I don't think quite like this, but there's definitely no excuse. Well, I felt like looking at our squad at the start of the year, I thought we had so much depth, and I felt like it was going to be unlucky for a lot of guys who probably weren't going to get the opportunities that they deserve, but we've gone to them and probably passed a few of those guys, and yeah, everyone's had an opportunity this year, which has been awesome to see.
How did Louis Champion scrub up after 70 minutes?
Oh mate, he was awesome. He was still buzzing. Like he, even before the game when he found out he was starting, he got the biggest smile on his face, and he's still smiling at training yesterday. He was on cloud nine after that. So it's awesome to see guys who, put in so much effort behind the scenes, not expecting opportunity, but then when they get that opportunity to take it like he did, was awesome.
It must be good going forward, guys like Louis, for example, that all these guys throughout the year, that if something happens, say this week, you've got guys I guess are now capable.
Yeah, 100%, and I feel like that's been the beauty of some of these injuries, although it's never nice seeing guys get injured. There's I guess a good part that comes out of it, which is these guys getting an opportunity to see if they're ready at this level, and I feel like everyone who has had an opportunity this year has taken that, and when we get the guys coming back, then it becomes a real selection headache on who we select for the big games.